Hello guys, just a quick note for those of you that have the Yard Max 35-ton full beam or half beam log splitters that since 2021 no longer come with the four-way splitting wedge, which I found out the hard way after I had ordered the Yard Max for the premium price of $2,000. And the information is there that it is no longer being manufactured or shipped by Yard Max Corporation any longer. It is in very tiny print, and when I called the distributor that I bought my machine from, had found it's literally in the last sentence in very small print, like an add-on in the specifications. So most people that know Yard Max, that knows that wedge comes with this machine, as it normally usually does, would never even look at that specification to see that. So I talked to a few people, and this is the note that I want everybody to know. I ordered this swisher attachment here just so I could have a four-way for this machine. Well, many people, even the manufacturers, had said that these wedges right here on these machines are pretty close to being universal throughout the market for this style of a splitter. So it would be pretty safe to say that a attachment such as this swisher right here could be ordered and very minimally have some type of grinding done right around in this area here, okay? Or some grinding done on the back edge of the main splitting wedge in order for these attachments to fit. Well, this isn't the case. In no way, shape, or form is this wedge even close to fitting. It is actually a different angle of wedge for the attachment. The attachment is also smaller, which I'm going to try to get this because this wedge is pretty much 30 pounds. Okay. There we go. Sorry about the camera dudes and dudettes. But as you can see, that is no way, in any way, shape, or form, close enough to fit that wedge with just a little bit of grinding. I would literally have to cut off roughly 3/4 of an inch of the back side of the wedge to get this attachment to fit. Now, even then, at that point, you can see the wedge angles are completely different. I would literally have to bust the welds, shorten the pieces to get the angle, and even at that point, there wouldn't be enough steel material here to get it even close to fitting. Now, for $240 for an attachment, yeah, it's a little expensive for something not to fit. So I have to return this, and I just wanted to let all of you all know that these aftermarket and these different manufacturers' wedges, from what I can see, will not fit the Yard Maxes because they have a pretty beefy wedge on their machines, and they're not more of the universal like the Troy Builts, like the County Lines, like the Brutes from Menards. They're all smaller wedges like the Swisher, and that is the machines that this was supposed to fit. So it was understood that just a little bit of grinding would have been needed to do to this one, but that's not a little bit of grinding. That is extensive fabrication, and it's not worth it. So basically what I'm going to do is just order a 7-inch wide piece, 2 foot long of 1/2 inch thick steel, and cut and form my own wedge and weld everything up to fit this. And maybe if the interest is there, I can do the same for any of you guys that need or want one. I am also going to, because the issue that for the old stock wedges that came with the Yard Maxes, they had an angle and their blades here were too small. So the bottom pieces of lumber, the bottom pieces of wood were really tiny. They were more like kindling. So I am also going to, instead of having the wedge in the middle, I'm going to have it a little bit higher up on the wedge. I'm going to have it 4 inches from the base here, measured up 4 inches, rather than what the other one was. I do believe it was like 3 inches or something like that for the stock one. And it was angled like this in order to keep from pinching the logs that were split down here. I am going to do that, but at less of an angle. I'm also going to cant the wing up just a hair like this. So as that way it will leave the back side so these logs don't get pinched in the bottom down here and make them fall off nice and easy. But I'm going to try that design out after I get the steel and cut it and weld it and do all that fun stuff here within the next couple weeks. But if you guys are interested, for a few $100, I might go into making a few of them. Just to let you guys know, I looked at prices of the steel, and for a decent strength steel, for the materials alone and the welding rods to weld it all together and then the grinding and stuff, just for, well, let's just say materials, the steel alone is almost $200. It's $178 for a piece big enough with just a little hair of scrap left over to make a wedge, which would include both sides 1/2 inch thick, a back 1/2 inch thick, and then of course the welds internal on the inside and outside, and then the weld up here, and then grinding the weld flat, grinding these welds flat, and then grinding 45s onto these pieces on the wings here, so that way the weld gets in to really penetrate in there. Because as you can see on this swisher, it don't look like it was too much done. It looked like it was just flat butt welded, which in my book would not be that strong. I want my welds to penetrate more, so I will be using 6011 1/8 inch rods to cram nice digging rod deep into that so it penetrates nicely. And then for the top 2 passes up over the top, put 6013s to make it nice and smooth so it's easy to machine and work. But other than that, I just wanted to let everybody know that. And like I said, just the steel alone is $180, and now that's not including shipping to me either yet. Now that is higher strength steel. I can get steel that is a little cheaper. It's like $150 without tax and shipping, of course. And then it's going to take more than likely 4 welding rods, 1 for the single pass dig for the 6011, and then 3 of the 6013s for the cover welds. Okay, just on each wing. So you're looking at 4 rods each side, and then you're looking at a rod for the weld up here, and a rod back here for this weld for the 6011s, and then 1 6013 rod for these welds. So you're looking at roughly another, that's about $10 close to in welding rods. So I would probably have to say the price on these for the labor of me doing them and the prices of materials, I can leave them bare without painting them. If you guys want to, throw your own paint on there. I mean, shit, these things, they dice their paint off anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I just carry a extra can of the pumpkin orange So after I use the splitter for so long and strip off all the paint, I just throw, a coat of paint on it to keep it from rusting and stuff. So if you are interested, and I do this, I will let everybody know. And a price, I mean, just a rough guesstimate, is probably going to be close around to about $380 or so, maybe $400. And I know that sounds kind of pricey, but like I said, just the steel alone is going to be probably around 170, 180 to around 220 to 240 bucks-ish or so, say, for the higher strength steel. Then you got all the welding and all the time and labor that it's going to take them to manufacture the pieces, and it's all going to be done, of course, by hand. So I will let you know if I can do this very easily and would be interested in popping a few off for you guys, if there's enough interest for me to do it. But like I said, it's probably going to be, right around about a price of anywhere between $360 to $420, just somewhere in that area. Yeah, happy 420 to everybody too. All right. Okay, I just wanted to let y'all know that, and see y'all around like a donut.